What is up, everybody? Say hi in the chat, and I will say hi as well. Just for a bit, we're going to let people filter in before we begin. This is my green water bottle. Green screens are very exciting, aren't they? Hello, Humble Z. Shard, what is up? Molo, Derek, Go Brady, what is up? Go Badri, Russell, Elvis, hello. Stark, what is up? I'm actually very excited myself. I got this huge 2 by 18 inch JBL professional subwoofer cabinet that came. It's sitting outside. Literally just came like 30 minutes ago. Because I'm getting this huge drum set, which is also being delivered maybe this Saturday, and I'm gonna go crazy with it. I'm very excited. Gonna be rocking out hard. Oh, what is up? All right, awesome. People are filtering in. 97 concurrent viewers. Awesome stuff. It's been a while. It's been about a month since I've done one of these. I've been busy, hard at work with the new Interactive CSS course. In fact, I might just go ahead and plug that right now because it's going to be awesome. So if you go to DesignCourse.com/CSS, our interactive CSS course will be releasing, I'm hoping, within 2 months. You can enter your email here to be notified. And I will actually give you a real sneak peek of the some of the, well, I'm actually not going to do that. Because I don't know if it's locked and like everybody's going to start watching it. So there's some cool stuff because we have a custom module recreated where you can code and try to do challenges and stuff. So much like my UI UX course, where there's that cool little game, these are going to be worked in as well. So it's a great way to learn layout design, essentially using Flexbox and Grid, using real projects designed by myself that look good. So there's something fun about, you know, taking your HTML, CSS skills and applying to designs that look good and not just like crappy, you know, something like a dev made who doesn't know anything about design. So anyhow, check that out. Also, of course, check out DesignCourse.com if you want to learn UI UX in an interactive setting. We got a bunch of videos, 16 hours worth. We have a ton of these UI tests, which you can try down here. And we have mentorship, which is an optional, very cheap monthly subscription add-on. You can add on anytime. And I will personally look at your work and review it. So yeah, definitely check that out. Use STREAM22 coupon code for 22% off. All right. So if those of you who are new to this, I'm just going to go ahead. There's already been a ton of submissions for this stream here in Discord. So if you want to be, if you want me to review your design, you have to idle in the Discord server, and that's linked here in the YouTube description. And you assign yourself the stream ping role, and then that way, when I make a news announcement that there's going to be, which can be any day, there's not scheduled. I usually do it. I'll announce it an hour or two beforehand. You have to hurry up, first come, first serve right here. So we already have a lot of them. So I'm just gonna review your designs. Sometimes I'll do minor tweaks if they're like, for instance, in Figma, and we'll rate them, scale 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. All right, so let us get started, the very first one. All right, I like to open these up on the side just to make sure I'm not being trolled with adult content or any, you know, Rick rolls and all that stuff. All right, so okay, so the best design is the simplest one that works. All right, and there's like some guy waving hi in the background. All right, so I don't have much of a problem with this type. It's pretty big and bold enough. I contrast well enough because it is big and bold. My work and get in touch. I would emphasize one of these two call to actions over the other. Whenever you have a primary and a secondary call to action, they shouldn't be equally weighted in terms of design. So they're going to want to see your work first, and then if they like it, then they'll get in touch. So that's the secondary one. So I would de-emphasize this one, make this one a little bit stand out more. There's multiple ways you could do that. You can make this font just bold. That's the simplest way. But let's click on my work. All right. So real quick tip here on the typography, the leading or the line height, you want to increase that a little bit based on what I see here. So if I take this one and I type in line height I'm just going to type in 1 rem unit. Okay, so we're going to bump that up to 1.5. Around 1.5, 1.6, it's just easier to read when the lines have separation between them as shown right here versus this one over down here. This one's easier, and it just looks better too as well. I personally want to do the zigzag design, maybe just put them all to the left and center them in the viewport. Not sure if I like the labels, the about me, because they look like buttons. So I would definitely remove that. And you do have alignment issues because about me here is here in the center and contacts here in the center, but then you have this column way over here. If you're going to keep those, left align those, make them black, get rid of the pill-shaped button form around it. And I also wouldn't use color type everywhere. Maybe just make the high this color and make the rest like, you know, black or something like that, or a darker shade of what's here. Also, you don't need to put your name, subject, and message when you already have that information in the title and the labels above them. So just get rid of those placeholder values. All right, so 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get for the rating? By the way, have an active state right here. You can just make it bold or underline the home or whatever. By the way, Ronit, somebody asked, why don't we make a JS crash course? I have some, potentially awesome news. First, we're going to have the HTML CSS course coming in a couple months. And then in 2023, sometimes I'm partnering. It's not 100% certain, but I already talked to him. Brad Traversy is going to work with that course with me as a collab. And we have some exciting stuff for that because it's not going to be the typical JavaScript course. It's going to be heavily geared towards designers and front-end developers and kind of creating cool, immersive sites that are interactive. So that I think that would be really cool. All right, so for me, I'm going to give this one a rating of... There's some things happening right here, but the alignment's kind of off in different places. I'll probably just give this one like a 6.5. And it seems like most of you seem to agree. Yeah. All right, I think I'm back here. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, here's the next one. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. All right, we're good to go, though. All is good. I don't know. My internet just stopped working. Not cool. All right. Anyhow. Okay, so what was this again? This is... Let me go back here. Negative space. Go back up here. I want to make sure if there was a comment left on this. I want to know what it says. Okay. Nope. All right. Okay, so learn to code and get certified for free. If you want to learn how to do great things, then you'll need to take a look at our coding challenges. All right. All right, so this top section, nothing objectively looks incorrect here. Font size 22. I might want to put that to like 24. It's 24. I might want to put that to like 22 or maybe 20. Probably push this section down just a little bit. Actually, let me take this real quick. One thing we'll do is let's just get some brightness going here. All right, so yeah, like I said, I'd probably, I don't know, everything's grouped up and stuff. Probably move this down just a bit. I'm honestly not very thrilled with the illustration. I think you can get something much better over here. Because with the right, sorry, I'm like burping at the same time I'm talking. With the right illustration, you can really boost the just the aesthetic value of this hero section a lot more. I don't think this really fits very well, and it kind of just looks cheesy. This section right here, yeah, I can see this just barely noticeable, this card background. I would probably take this area and make the fill slightly different. You know, even just that. That way you can really separate these two sections out versus this right here. So you could do something like that. This section over here is pretty good. Do you have any letter spacing on? No? Okay. What font is, oh, it's Inter. I'm not a huge fan of Inter font, but no big deal. Let's remove that. So this section looks pretty good here. I think this right here is competing, this programming events subtitle is competing a little bit too much with this title down here. So we have size 46, this one size 34. I would go down a little bit smaller, like to 24, and then scale down this icon right here as well. Push these things over here. There we go. I think that's a better separation in that area. It's a small detail though. Subscribe right here. That's fine to me. And as long as these are going to be floating labels, I'm fine with that as well. Your submit button, however, that needs to stand out. So like the fill, what's your primary color? Blue. You know, just get this blue. That's better right there. All right, pretty solid. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? Yeah, like somebody said, a solid 7, the Nationalist said. So I agree with that. A solid 7, maybe a little bit higher, 7.2, 7.3. All right, cool stuff. Let us continue on. All right, Arthur. Oh, this is hilarious. All right. Why I laughed was because of that headline. I could be your man. Convince me. All right, so that's kind of a strange pattern to me, like not having this outlined. I mean, okay. Okay, so for me personally, when you hover over this button right here, I would make it so that when you hover over it, you maybe just change the background color. You don't go back to outline and make it look like this one. So that's just a small gripe. Let me get back here. I feel like this area could be filled out a lot more, especially here on a bigger resolution like this. So you could have a larger type, anything like that. You can probably expand a little bit more and just saying web developer, make it a little bit more interesting. Outside of that. Oh, and by the way, I wouldn't have yourself with a mask on. Would not do it. Show your full face. I don't think COVID is transmissible over the internet. All right. Yeah, I want to see your face. I'm sick of these damn masks all over the place. Although, they've definitely been decreasing, fortunately. Okay, I'm not going to get too stuck on that. Now, one thing I will do, say, is right here in this section where it says my work and then my work behind it, that's not enough of a watermark. There's too much contrast. It's too dark, so it becomes difficult to read. So if you're going to keep something like that, you want to make sure, I'm not sure how you set this up, but you have opacity on there? 0.2. Let's go to like 0.07. That's much better for that area right here, if you're going to do that. I personally would probably just remove this my work thing right here. Outside of that, I would also probably take this area right here, this little subheadline. There's not enough, we need to make it a little bit darker, like there. That in my opinion is better. It contrasts more. I like the little tag designs. That works well. I also like the little circles. Me personally, in this section, I would use Flexbox or Grid so that your HTML, all these cards, like this top row, fills out all the way from the very left, which is established right here in this column. This one starts here, and it will fill out all the way wherever the right side of the design ends. And then same thing with these 3 cards. I want them all to fill out the available space. All right, there's a picture of you without the mask. I like that better. And again, somebody else did the same thing. Tell me your name, full name. I mean, I guess you could do that, but not the email address because you're already asking for it up here. And then tell me your question. Just, I'm not sure if I would include those placeholder values. And I would left align the send message button just for better consistent alignment, and the hit me up over here. All right. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do you think this person should get? So for me, I'm going to rate this a... Also, I don't like the let's talk way over here. It should stay right here in this container. I'm going to rate this for what it is, and there's a lot of solid things happening here. Probably like a 7.4 or so. You got a lot of 5s, 6.5, so maybe I'm thinking it's rated a little bit too high, maybe 7. All right, solid work. Let's go water. Well, this is an interesting sort of layout. All right, who's that? Yeah, don't message me on my when I'm live streaming. It just makes the thing pop up, and I'm not going to read your message. All right, so water right here. Okay, so one thing, personally, I would make this bold or something, and that way you can differentiate between your logo and your type or your navigation a little bit more. Outside of that, all right, web dev, bring your ideas to reality. I design your vision. Get the required. All right, so right here, just a small comment. I think all of these elements, no, so these are all right aligned along the same column. These are all left aligned along the same column, but then you're here, here, all the way out here. I would align all of these along the same column, and it would have better structure. I design your vision, view posts. What's that mean? Like, what's that mean? Like you were trying to show people like blog posts? Okay, so maybe this isn't finished, obviously. Hold on, I have to sneeze. Don't lose it. Oh, that sucks. I lost my sneeze. That sucks. All right. Anyhow, it's a very unique layout, and I like seeing something different compared to like the first layout where it's just a big photograph, you know, hero section with center text. I like, you know, that you're doing something different here. Good card design. Not much of a problem with this. I would personally flip this. So your description has smaller type than your tags. Personally, I would make this descriptive stuff the same size as the tags and then make the tags smaller because they're less important than the description of the project. That's a small gripe though. Clearly though, this is not quite finished. But for what it is, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Yeah, I would probably give that like a 7.5 or 7.6, although it's not finished. I'm not sure if I like this big gray drop shadow, soft shadow around that area. That's reminiscent of more of like an old school approach. All right. Yeah, let's continue on. Oh, darn, I hate when I do that. There we go. Next up is Pagnavath. So I'm not a fan of this font that I'm seeing here. We have alignment issues as well. Okay, so we have a column that's established. The first column is always established by the logo, and it goes right down here. So this is indented quite a bit, and that's fine. You can do that. However, we have a column established here, here in the hero type, also here in the center type, and then in this area, this is not even following this alignment. It's slightly off. So things are inconsistently lined all over the place, and that just breaks the flow of the layout. Try to get things lined up a little bit better with more, I guess you could say, cohesiveness. You can also, and also, here's one thing I don't want anybody to do. Your name is Cambo Web Expert, but then you put Cambo Web Expert for your headline. Don't do that. For your headline, use some unique type. Learn about good ad copy and marketing. Your picture, you just kind of look dead inside. You're like, I don't want to take this picture. You know, like it was like almost like a candid shot. Like you didn't realize your photo was being taken. Try to smile, make it more interesting. Outside of that, so for me, I wouldn't put your tag, your skills right here to the left. I would put this stuff to the left and then maybe right align the tags. Well, that's an interesting sort of situation that you have here. I would make those darker though, because those don't contrast enough. All right. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? Yeah, most people have a friend with a decent enough camera. Like even if you can't get a professional photo and you're like tight on cash or something, just get some good lighting, even if it's outdoors, you know, and then just get a good photo. And I don't even understand this as well. We design, build, and deploy things for the web. The fastest way to get your potential website to become a Cambo Web Expert. What does that even mean? Like, I don't know what that means to become a Cambo Web Expert. You should probably just say something like hire us or something if you're offering a service. All right, so for me, I'm going to give this a rating of like a 6.4. I think that's pretty fair. Next up is Reeve. I made this for a design competition held on the Flux YouTube channel. Planko is an outdoor traveling planning agency. All right, let's check this out. Ooh, we got some animations. Got a carousel. All right. Get to know yourself a little better. We handle everything, so you don't have to. Simply fill out a questionnaire, pack your bags, and go. Find my adventure. So for that, I like the headline, but the subheadline is still kind of vague. Like, we handle everything. Well, handle what? I don't know what you mean. Simply fill out our questionnaire, pack your bags, and go. I don't really. It's not obvious that it's like a travel. So I think you would, in terms of verbiage, you'd probably want to elaborate and be more specific in this subheadline. Find my adventure. I like that. It's a good color. Yep, that's all solid. Cool area right here with this. This images kind of going a little bit fast though. Probably take this lorem ipsum text, make it a little bit darker. I could tell it's kind of too close to the mid gray. It probably would not pass contrast ratio guidelines. That's a cool little thing you're doing there. Okay. That's nice. I like this a lot. Unfortunately, it's only working for this first one, but I get what you're doing. Nice. Yep. Maybe for view story, either make that bold or underline it by default, or put like a little icon and an arrow next to it. That way it's noticeable as a button. Pretty solid area here. All right, now one issue. Oh, okay. I was going to say there's too much white space by here, but that's because I expanded those, and that's a limitation of prototyping sometimes. I don't know about this form, although I guess you are kind of showing the different states. In Figma, you can obviously show these states, though, interactively through component variants, so you don't have to kind of clutter up the view here in the prototype. But yeah, this is solid. Very, very good job. For me, I would, let's do a rating for this. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I would rate this probably easily an 8+. Probably like an 8.5, like somebody said. Yep. Marius P, thank you for the super chat. Although, as it states in the YouTube description, these are just for appreciation only. So hopefully, if you posted yours earlier enough in the Discord server, I will get to it. All right. Yeah, this is definitely the best design we've had so far. All right. That was Reeve. Okay, so Sharon is next with Cuckoo C. All right. Let's get this up. It's like a cooking. Interesting. So we have this rotating image here. You know what would be cool is to take this right here. Instead of putting it off to the side, maybe enlarge it a little bit and like overlap this area over there. I think that would be a cooler approach, and it just gives layers and depth. All right. Next up, let's see here. We have the hero section, which is pretty solid. I don't have much of a problem with that. Now you're overlapping these ones. I think that's basically what I was talking about. I'm not a fan, I've talked about this in the past, of centering section titles or labels like this, download or mobile app, in the context of a 2-column layout, because you have a column here and then you have a column with these phones. I think I would personally remove this download our mobile app section. So if I go to our file real quick, and I copy UIX tips. Actually, yeah, I am in the Framer Discord, and that's because within a next week or two, I'm going to be releasing a Framer crash course. It's a sponsored video. Here's what I'm talking about. Remove that. Yeah, Framer's really cool, and so I can't wait to share it. Probably do something cool like this. There we go. So now we've just decluttered this area. I think it looks better. Remove this stuff up. There we go. Again, same thing with this. You know, if you're going to keep it, left align it. And in this text, I don't like paragraphs that are colored too much, especially when it's found elsewhere. So we can desaturate it greatly. No, you don't have to make it black, but we can really add gray, and then, or tone rather, and then also shade, make it darker. Now these right here, these little quotes, I would probably reduce the opacity even more, make them like a watermark. That way you're not taking attention away from the type itself. And then again, once again, if you're gonna keep that, go there. I don't like mixing colors like this. I mean, you only have one color max, so we could take this and make it black, and we simplify it a lot more. All right. I would just put contact us personally, make it black, or just remove it. All right. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? I do like this area. Like I was saying, we could do something cool like that, and maybe have another one down here, or some type of graphic accent. Maybe make it float up and down in a very subtle fashion. So for me, there's a lot of things happening right here. This is going to be like a 7.2 for me, I think. Yeah, orange and green to me, I don't think they mix well. But I think that might be in India culture. Aren't green and like orange common? I may be entirely wrong about that. But maybe those of you watching, I know I have those from India who are watching my channel or this live stream right now. All right, next up is Jens Becker. All right. How did I copy that website to Figma? I just selected the frame in their prototype, copied it, Control C, go to File New, and then Control V and just paste it into a new document. That way it gives me the ability to edit it. Yeah, orange and green India flag colors. That's why I knew that. Okay. All right. Jens Becker, home, services about. All right, so we have an active state here at least. To make that a little bit more obvious, I would probably make it so that this is default, so you also have this low contrast background behind it. So developing software experiences, that's all one headline, but you have that kind of, quite two different color contrasts occurring here. I would probably, it's actually a single headline to boost your company. So let's simplify this greatly and make this all the same exact type, same size, everything. I probably wouldn't change, because you're doing it. You have large type, here and here, but this one in the middle is also blue, and then this is smaller, so it's just not consistent. I would simplify that greatly. Now your cards also need a lot of work. The way you are placing this icon and the center to line text, but this is sort of left in line, but then it opens up all the way here. Again, just too much stuff is happening with the type that is inconsistent, and it makes the cards and the flow of the layout just not flow well, essentially. So what I would do if I were you, I would go to like dribble.com, DRIBBLE.com, and I just type in card design and just try to get, a good idea of how cards should be structured. And there's a lot of different ways, but this way that you're doing it is it's kind of cluttered. And also putting like a lot of your paragraphs inside of this low contrast container all over the place kind of just makes the layout appear blocky. So you want to open that stuff up and probably not put those inside actual blocks or rectangles. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me all know what you think this person should get for a rating. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a rating of like 6.1 or so, or 5.8. Yeah, something like that. The good thing that is happening here, there's good contrast in the text and readability and the scale. So a person would be able to read this. It's just not aesthetically pleasing in multiple areas. All right. Time for me to spam all of you. If those of you who are really wanting to improve, become better at UI UX, check out DesignCourse.com. I just released this earlier this year, January 4th. And we have a lot of people who joined. I'll show you the stats real quick. Right here, this is my stats dashboard. 3,482 people have joined. Right now, we have currently 180 mentor subscription students. And that's basically where I review work and provide feedback and ratings and all that stuff. And I've also reviewed 2,027 mentor student project submissions, which is crazy. I do about 10 to 20 every day. But yeah, I'm just helping people become better. There's over 16 hours worth of video. There's 38 of our interactive tests, and then 22 projects, although 10 of those projects are for any type of project mentor students can, like if they have their own work and they want to review. So definitely check this out. There's parity pricing available on this. Use the coupon code STREAM22 to get 22% off, and I will be done promoting my course. All right, next up is, that was Jen, is Haddam. I think that's how you might pronounce your name. Probably not, though. All right. Okay, so Farmland. All right, so the first thing I don't like is how tiny this logo is and how hard it is to read this land because of the yellow on white. So if you're able to readjust this logo, also make it larger. You can actually make it extend out into this area as well while keeping the same width of, or height rather, of this nav bar. Home about, okay, see your type is a little bit small on the small side. I would boost that up by at least 2 more pixels. A new way to invest in agriculture. All right. Invest now is pretty small, this button. I would move it down, so more white space, like this amount of white space right here, and also make it larger. Maybe put subtle rounded corners on there as well. Again, I would increase the size of the type and also increase the leading or the line height between the type itself. So what I'm talking about, just to show you real quick, is I would just take this, and font size is 0.7 em units, so 1.2 em, no, not that big, 0.95 em units. Yeah, at least that. And then line height, you have a 1.4, maybe more like 1.8. That's a little bit better. And also I would reduce the amount of type that's inside of these cards. But the icons are consistent. I like that. I'm not sure on hover if I would make it that significant of a color change. Again, same thing here. Not enough white space between the button and this. Now, one thing I would... Yeah, my daughters are probably on TikTok. All right, we're back. I'm not sure if any of you saw my rating on this or my review, but unfortunately, I'm not going to go back over it again. All right, let's continue on. I know that sucks. The person's like, Jesus. Okay. Where did I leave off? I think it was... there are so many submissions. Yeah, Incline Dadarsh is up next. That's a channel regular. All right, I like this. For upon first glance, I like this. Like the little arrow right here. Yeah, this is all pretty solid here. Design your own card. This area, I would this little background. It's a very light gray, or not gray, but blue. I would make that just a shade or two darker, just to increase the contrast of this section. This here is solid. Pretty solid here. Lacking a little bit of white space between this large arrow icon and this type right here. I probably reduce the size of that arrow. Little bit, I would like to see just a tad bit more white space vertically in most of the sections. This is all pretty solid, but just a little bit more white space between some of the various elements here. Because especially right here, it gets pretty cluttered. So I would think about that. I would think about removing used by people in every profession, or if I kept it, left align it and make it smaller a little bit so that this type stands out a little bit more. This type right here, I would make a little bit larger. But yeah, this is all quite solid. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? Way higher than a 6. Somebody said 6. Max 6. Danielle, you only have to say that once, by the way. No, I'm going to give this one probably like an 8.5 or so. It's very solid. Very good. Incline, I'm just going to say Incline Darsh is somebody who's been in this Discord server for a long time. And their work proves it. All right. Next up. All right, kind of strange at the top nav, being that we have such space between all of these. Typically, if you have an about and a resume, and they're styled also very similarly, you would put those closer together. Again, I would increase line height in this section a little bit more. User experience projects. All right, so I could tell this right here is really pixelated, this photograph or these UI layouts. So I would try to get better, definitely better higher res things, pictures here. This one's better, definitely on the better side. I do like this approach, having these large cards differently colored. I do like that. All right. Pretty solid here. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What do y'all think this person should get? I'm going to go ahead and give this a rating of probably like a 7.2 or something. All right, next up. I think that was the one I just did. I want to make sure. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So titanium is up next. Refresh, because we had some animation. A lot of stuff happening here. We got this video, all that stuff was coming in. I think that's okay though. I'm not too fond of this call to action. I mean, I think it's cool up here on this type right here, TikTok management, but also on the call to action seems a little bit much. I would probably just make that a black background with the white text. And that way it'll contrast a little bit more on its own. Outside of that, I would take the titles here and make those white. Look at that. That's a lot better. And it just creates more contrast between the type here rather than keeping it the same color between here and all this. Golf Daddy. All right, so I like this section. Dude wipes. I'm never buying something called a dude wipe. All right, yeah. So in this area, I would say you already have a lot of color in this background. I would probably just make these like black, these circles behind the numbers. A little bit cluttered up in this section, the way this is spaced out. So like what you will get, push that down a little bit further maybe. I think the one being black, the numbers being black and this being gray, I would reverse that, make the numbers lighter. Just small comments, obviously. Small changes. All right, I think this is pretty solid overall. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me all know what you think this person should get. Danny's about to get kicked from the chat room. Do I know if I'll be live next week? No. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. It all just depends. It's been a month since I've done this. All right, so I'm gonna say this is solid. You know, I'm gonna give this a rating of like, you know, 7.8, close to 8, probably 8. Yeah, really solid, unique. I like it. Next up is PZ Web. So I like that. I like this photograph. This dude just hanging out right in the back. And it's just like a random photo that was taken. It's unique. So I like this sort of thing. PZ Web Development. Let's see what happens when we scroll down. All right, nice solid section here with good cards. I like the mouse movement and how the page shifts. Something that's subtle. Very nice. All right. Yeah, I like the form too. Awesome. Yeah. I don't really have much negative to say about this. I would have a home button though, explicitly a home button. Although this is a one-page website, so I suppose having to get back to the top isn't that big of a deal. You could have a little up icon, maybe that's fixed. But yeah, this is solid. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know what you think this person should get. People already started rating it. Yeah, I would say this is easily like a mid 8 to upper 8. Very solid. Awesome. Next up. Who was that? Okay. I thought that person's username was ayahuasca. I want to try that sometime. I know, I'm a druggie. Okay. Alrighty. Continuous sound? Absolutely not. So I'm not sure. So from a UX perspective, if you have a portfolio like this and you're requesting a user action about whether or not a person wants sound, I'm not sure about that. I don't like that idea. I would probably opt just to have not sound and then maybe have a sound icon where they can turn it on if they want it to. I make beautiful websites, okay. Sort of a strange layout. I'm not a fan of the home, about, skills here being so separated with that much white space, so I would just push those up. Less white space between them. The layout of the laptop being right in the center and then this stuff up here on the left, I probably would have balanced that out more by taking this into more of like a 2-column approach, pushing this to the right and then having this stuff on the left, and then try to vertically more center this column so it's not so much white space underneath it. What does have a look do? Okay, so it scrolls me real fast to this area. You're trying to be too cute, I would say, with these cards, and it just doesn't work well in my opinion. So I would rethink about how you're doing these cards. This right here, and it's pushing me sometimes automatically to the next section. I know it's a kind of cool little interesting navigation you have that's occurring here, but I wouldn't do that. And I also wouldn't be just flipping these around, like taking these logos and flipping them upside down like this. It's unnecessary. I know you want to showcase your skills, but you could do that probably in other ways. Yeah, and this is one of those UX no-nos. I'm having an underline only for text fields. Some people think those are like not text fields, and they think they're like line separators or something, or borders. So try to encase those all the way or give it a background fill. All right, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me know what you all think. Well, let's see what it does on mobile. Yeah, so we have an interesting nav where it just says 1, 2, and numeric values. I would advise against that because it doesn't really give you much context. Maybe just have the actual name or something like that. For me, I got to give this, even though there's a lot of cool stuff happening here from a front-end development perspective, I'm still going to give this maybe like a mid 6 or low 6. All right. Next up is, so that was Odie. I am hungry. All right, so right over here, we have a situation where there's a lot of stuff happening in a small area around here. So you need to kind of rethink that. There's a lot happening with the type, and you have 2 different nav bars here, and you have a welcome up here. It's just too much clutter occurring in this area, and it becomes confusing. I mean, because you have, all right, so you have the headline, you have the logo with the subheadline, you have this link here, it says home, but then there's a label right underneath it that says Starscape, and so you have all this stuff. Try to simplify that as much as possible. So, okay, so it's obviously not finished. These links, these buttons don't work, but that's going to be my main takeaway. There's not enough here, though, for me to probably issue a rating here, so it's just going to move on. Yeah, like they said, it's not finished quite yet. Ooh, ooh. We got some fancy stuff happening here. Let's refresh. That's nice. Nice animation sequence. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan personally of completely hijacking and hiding the cursor. If you want to have this little circle here, you can do that. I mean, because not only have you changed it to a circle, but you're screwing around with the momentum, the natural momentum of the cursor. But if you want to have the circle, have that. But also, I would show the cursor. I mean, if you want to have the circle, you can show the cursor as well. All right, so we have some interesting stuff happening here. Scroll-based background color change. Nice. I like the font. That's pretty cool as well. Changing it to play. Very sleek. That's nice. Very cool. I mean, it's a very contemporary style layout. Yeah, very nice. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Let me all know what you think. It's a good photograph as well. I was going to say this is reminiscent of one of the award sites. So for me, I'd probably give this like mid 8. Yep, very solid. Next up. I like that computer. Obviously, based on the computers all around me, my old school computers. Downloading the future, it says. All right. Appose.tv, experience the evolution in live streaming. Big no-no over here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Whenever you have sentences and paragraphs and stuff like this, I can't stand the extended letter spacing of 10%, so I just set that back to default. I would also not make it all bold. Maybe make it light or regular, and then take your subtitles and make those bold. All right, so that's a little bit better of an improvement. we could possibly come down and reduce contrast just slightly. Sign up, I don't like this. Oh, I'm not able to edit the, what do you call? Oh, it's right there. Okay, so yeah, I would get rid of that blur that was on there. And also, this is kind of strange. You have for the viewers, for the streamers, but enter your email. So semantically, you have two cards possibly, or two different things here that are, you know, just benefits, and then you have an action, but they're styled very similar, almost exactly the same. So I would separate those out, even if it's just through white space. So like if I take this right here, move it down, that becomes a lot better and more readable. And then you can even do something like this. Like we could take this over here, open that up, put this over here, put it into a 2-column approach, and then move this over here. That's a lot better, just in terms of utilizing your space a little bit better, and better type as well. All right. I mean, I could probably make further improvements here, but I don't want to spend too much time on any given. There's not much happening here, though, so we're not going to bother with a rating. All right, let's go up next. Please, I would like constructive feedback. I'm going to give you non-constructive feedback. I'm kidding. That's a given. I'm going to try to give constructive feedback all the time. Interesting. So this looks like it's being put together for like a Behance project showcase or something like that. Just like looking at this layout alone, I wouldn't have all this yellow type up here. Maybe you could take the currently active page and make that yellow, and then make the other ones like white or something, along with the icons as well. And again, like right here, having red type on a yellow background, I don't know, it's pretty ballsy, but I would probably take at least the descriptions underneath it and make them black. But yeah, I don't like the red on yellow. All right. Not enough happening here either to really justify a rating. So that is going to be it. So before this stream concludes, I'd like to mention one more time, DesignCourse.com, interactive UI UX course. You guys can all take it now. And you can get 22% off from Stream22 coupon code in the top link of the YouTube description here. 16 hours of video, 38 tests. We have like 3,400 plus students. And yeah, you can check out the site if you wish, but we're already exceeded an hour from the stream. So if I didn't get to your review, try to be there quicker next time I announce it, which might be in a week or two. So as always, make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all soon. All right. Don't tell me to stop spamming. This is my channel. All right. All right. Goodbye. End stream.